Yep.
Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is June 9th, 2016, and this is a special meeting of the members of the New York State Liquor Authority. In attendance is Chairman Bradley in Albany, Commissioner Kim in New York City, staff in attendance, General Counsel Flug, and myself, Acting Secretary Health. The calendar for today consists of one item. Council's office presented a proposed emergency summary order of suspension marked agenda number 2016-1359H for license serial number Queens OP 1261772. Issued to New Traditions Incorporated. They're located at 8428 164th Street in Jamaica. Presenting for Council's office is Associate Attorney Buckley. Counselor?
Thank you. I'm not going to go too much over the details in the memo, but just briefly, this is a location that Investigator Stravali just visited just this past week with the Workers' Compensation Board, and he'd been there the month before, and the premises did not have workers' compensation. In fact, they haven't had workers' compensation coverage for, I believe, almost 2 years now. A stop work order was posted, but the next day, the police department reported that the stop work order was ripped off the door where the investigator from the Workers' Comp Board had posted it. No investigator Stravali did an outside surveillance. He saw the licensee, this person, Kirk Johnston, and Mr. Johnston immediately recognizing Mr. Stravali, ran back into his location and said the premise was closed and refused to deal further with Mr. Stravali, who then served a call-in letter for him to come in tomorrow. But as Mr. Stravali writes in his report, this is a premises that, number one, the corporation is an invalid corporation. It's been dissolved by a proclamation. Even apparently when it was filed, it had been dissolved. The certificate of occupancy is for a one-car garage. There was a opening made into the next building. Again, there's still a stop work order in effect. There's been numerous police response to this location. They had stipulations with the community board that persons under 21 were not supposed to enter, no DJs, no alterations, an ID scanner must be in place, bartenders having certificates of training, and apparently none of those things were in effect on Mr. Stravali's visit. So in fact, there's several instances where the licensee is sold underage, and many of the police reports indicate that people are under 21, including there was, as I stated here, there was apparently someone who complained that they were a victim of a sexual assault in March of this year, and they were I believe, an 18-year-old female. As we believe on this basis, that apparently this is a location that is defiant in complying with the law and the stipulations under which the license was issued, and Counsel's office proposes a summary order to the members.
Can you speak a bit more to the underage patrons who have been seen in the location?
Well, somewhere just, I believe, 2 days ago, or actually, I think yesterday, Mr. Stravali asked the police department to run a check of all the incidents from this location, and just looking through it, it appears that some of the instances involve persons under 21. I believe this location is not too far away from St. John's University. And again, they were under stipulation that they were not to permit anyone under the age of 21, but Mr. Stravali, I believe, on his visit in May, found that they were admitting people under 21 and putting in, I believe, an X on their hand or something to indicate that they were underage. So, I mean, again, that was what they agreed to with the community board, and that was incorporated in their approval letter, and it appears that they're not complying with that.
There were 2 incidents in April of this year where 2 undercover auxiliary police officers who were under 21 were actually sold shots of liquor. Is that correct?
That is correct. As well as, I believe, on the visit of May 6th and 7th, I believe there were more police agents who were served alcohol beverages.
And when Investigator Stravali was out there most recently, which was Friday, June 3rd. The bar was definitely open from his observations.
Yes, I believe from his report, he was there about an hour or so early in the evening, early in the evening, surveilling with, I believe, Investigator Boyko from Workers' Comp. Saw the location, on a Friday night, open for business, and then when Mr. Russ Johnston, who was probably smoking a cigarette or on his cell phone or both, saw Mr. Stravali, he ran back into the location, closed the door and spoke with Mr. Stravali, I think through a window, I believe, in the door, and there was a person spotted leaving the location through a rear exit.
One person or multiple people?
I believe Mr. Stravali says approximately 20.
And were they appeared to be customers?
Well, we do assume that, they were customers, because I believe when Mr. Stravali's been there, there were maybe 2 or 3 bartenders, maybe a security guard, so it would be hard to imagine that they were employees.
Okay.
What was the time that he visited on?
On this June 3rd, I believe he was there from about 9 o'clock in the evening thereabouts, just doing surveillance. And then about 11:05, they were also waiting for the mayor's office special operation to arrive. They could hear music playing, the door was closed, and they saw Mr. Johnston talking on the cell phone. So he was there surveilling from 9:35 to 11:10 p.m. And he saw people, entering the location, about 25 people.
Right, and that was on a Friday night, and
Right.
they're usually open 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., so reasonable conclusion is that it was definitely open with that many patrons having seen entered, being the people probably who ran out the back door with the door locked.
Yeah, and when he viewed inside, he could still see at least 6 people at the bar.
Okay. I have no further questions.
I don't either.
All right, Commissioner Kimby, vote please.
I'm sorry?
Your vote, please.
Yes. Well, this is an egregious violation. Not only had he locked the door to prevent the investigator from going in, but I think it shows a pattern of total disregard for the ABCL as well as our agency, in that he had failed to respond to a prior call-in notice and refused to accept subsequent interview notice. Violations of all the stipulations with the community board, which have led to underage sales and possible assault of an 18-year-old. All the things the stipulations were targeted to prevent, and so I believe that there is a significant public health, safety, and welfare issue here, and so I vote to summarily suspend the license.
Aaron?
I vote to summarily suspend as well. It's clear to me that just in the last several months, he's shown a complete and blatant disregard for the authority of this agency as well as other agencies, namely Workman's Comp, that put a stop work order on his premises, and they proceeded to dispose of it and just open up again. So it's obvious that that this business and licensee is a threat to the public health and welfare of the community. So I vote to summarily suspend.
Okay, thank you. No other business?
Nope.
No.
Not from Cal? No?
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
All
you.
right, Donna, let us know when you're